Hi, it's me. Are you coming in today? Well, there's somebody. There's this guy. He won't stop touching me. I think I'll be fine, but, please let me know, okay?
I love cream. So yummy. Hi, it's me, Flo. Today we are doing a little different kind of video. We are talking about some life experiences. No, well, kind of. It's a story time. The time I was stalked by a dude while I was heading to work, and it was really creepy, and it definitely escalated. So if you're interested to listen to my story, keep on watching. We're gonna start off by giving you a little background so you will understand the story a little better. I work at a grocery store full-time, and my work schedule is from 5:30 to 2 or 3 p.m. well, which is not relevant to the story. But because I'm working so early in the morning, I have to take the very first train, and usually there's nobody there. I'm the only one that has to work so early. But it has crossed my mind that what if something happens on the train and nobody around me is awake? So it's definitely crossed my mind, and it's just little scary thought, you know? And guess what? I was right. There was this one time, there was a dude at the train. I was like, okay, there's somebody there. I'll be fine. I walk into the train. I see that he acts a little weird. I think that he's drunk or somehow intoxicated. I try to stay away from him, so I just go to the other side of the train and just sit down and like act like nothing is happening because I don't want to have any attention drawn to me. He walks up to me, as I was afraid of, and he sits right next to me. The train is literally empty. There's nobody there, just me and him. And he starts talking to me in a different language, a language that I don't understand. I am just trying to be friendly because I have this feeling or thought like that I should act friendly and like I have the power, because if I act scared or like weak or somebody that doesn't stand up for themselves, I think that they would take advantage of me. So that's why I have like this mindset of let's just be a strong person, talk to him like I know what I'm talking about, be like harsh, you know? And he is starting to I would say like flirt. You can tell that he's like you know. I try to be like, hey, but let's just talk, we are just friends, you know? I am starting to be scared, and I try to call my colleague because he usually enters the train a little further down. Like, how do I say that? He usually enters the train like a few stops after me. Yeah, that's, you understand. I try to call him in hope that he's working the same shift as me and that he's awake and he will be there and save me, you know? He picks up the phone, thank God. And I try to explain to him in a calm way that this is happening, and I don't want the other dude to sense my body language because he can tell if I'm afraid, you know? So I'm just trying to be like, hey, are you just coming, you know? Nothing is happening, just please come. We have finally arrived at the next stop, and my colleague gets on. I am so relieved. But it turns out to be worse. This dude, the intoxicated dude, he seems a little crazy now. He is starting to be aggressive. He jumps on my colleague, trying to say like, bro, fight, fight. Like he says some English words that so we understand and definitely understands his body language. He is all over my colleague, like being so mad. We are both starting to freak out. My colleague, he texts me because we don't know how to communicate to each other. So we sit down and he tries to talk to him while he's texting me. And he says, let's just get off the next stop. I know that the next stop is like literally in the middle of nowhere. It's just a lot of trees and there's no houses around. It is just a empty place. And if we get off and he happens to get off at the same time, we are screwed, you know, like we don't get any help. Even though we scream at the top of our lungs, it doesn't help. So I'm like, no, that's not a good strategy. We need to actually get off the stop that we need to get off, and that is just a couple of more stops. So we just have to be patient and try to resolve this situation and don't let it escalate, you know. That's when he texts me and he says, I see a knife inside of his jacket.
By the way, my colleague, he is a big guy. He works out every single day. He has big visible muscles and lots of facial hair. He looks like the dude you don't want to mess with. But when he saw the knife, you could see his face drop to the ground. It was like he saw what was coming next.
Mind you, this dude is sitting next to me. And he's like touching me on my leg and being crazy. And I am starting to feel my pulse rise, like skyrocket. And I'm like, okay, what do? We just decide that we are going to sit down, pretend that we're not going to get off the stop so he doesn't get the time to get up and leave. When the train stops, we just jump off the train and like run for our lives. But guess what? He also gets off. This is crazy. And at this point, I'm just hoping that there's somebody at the store. Usually the store owner is usually at the store really early. So I try to call him because if I need to like figure out the keys and like open the store, it's gonna take a minute, you know? So we don't have that minute. So I hope and pray that my store owner is there, and he is. Oh, I am happy that he is. I call him and I say, don't ask questions. Just open the door and shut it after. Like, because we have like a door that goes like up and down. It's like the back door. And I tell him, listen to me, do as I say, open the door, let us in, and just shut it right after you. At this point, we are running for our lives, but my boss, he doesn't do what I told him. When we get up to the door, he says, what is going on? Are you sure I shouldn't call the police and just keep the door closed? It was such a big mistake. I know that we are taught that we should not open the door if we think that is something dangerous or we are getting robbed. And he asked me, are you sure that I should not call the police first?
I have to add that my boss was confused by the lack of information I gave while I was so stressed out on the phone. He thought I was held at gunpoint and I was instructed to let us in. That was why he didn't know what to do.
Once again, please just open the door. Seriously, I know how to handle this. Just listen to me. After a few seconds, he opens the door. But with those few seconds, the crazy dude caught up and he's standing right behind me.
I don't know why I forgot to tell this part, but while we were standing there, my colleague had to tackle the guy. The crazy dude got really riled up and we had to physically fight him off. He got so violent, starting to punch and kick. I was surprised that he was so good at it while being so heavily intoxicated.
My boss, he opens the door finally and we run like crazy inside. He tries to shut down the door, but the dude is like jumping right after. We have to like turn around, like push him out. He falls to the ground. We close the door. While we are talking to the police on the phone, I can hear that he is running towards the door, slamming his body weight as hard as he can to the door, like trying to get in. We are all like freaking out because this door is not like super, it's not like super secure. So I'm just so scared that this door would just break and he will get in, and I don't know what's going to happen next, you know? He's just out of his mind, and he has a knife. Like, what do you think is going to happen when he's in that state of mind? I and everyone else around me, we are freaking out, and it takes a little while for the police to get there because it's just so early in the morning. I think we waited like 20 minutes, and by that time, the door was already damaged a lot. And I was just so scared. I just locked myself up in a room and like cried. My camera died, so I had to take a break. But anyways, where was I? Yeah, the police finally arrived and they arrested him. They told us that they know of him, so this was not the first time. And he also told me that I was lucky that my colleague, my male colleague, I forgot to say that, he was a male. I was lucky because he thinks that something worse could have happened if nobody was there. So yeah, that was my little story, you guys. My question for you is, have you ever experienced something like this? Or have you ever been involved or witnessed something like this? I think that this is more common than most people think. Like, this is actually not the first time I've been stalked to a really creepy point. Probably not going to be my last either. So I'm just happy that I'm older and more mature, and I feel like I have more control right now than I had when I was younger. But at the same time, it's just such an uncomfortable situation to be in. Let me know if I should do more story times. If you enjoyed watching this, please let me know by giving it a thumbs up. And subscribe if you want to see me popping up in your feed. And yeah, that's it for this little story time. I hope to see you in my next video. I post every single Monday and Thursday, so I hope to see you next time. Bye! Hi, I just wanted to say thank you for still watching. I know this video is going to be long because it's a story time, but since you are already here, I'm gonna show you what I've been up to lately. Right now, we are in my studio. As you can tell, it's super messy right now because we are painting the wall right there. I'm trying to make a YouTube setup so I can have my camera here set up and just ready to shoot whenever I want to, and trying to customize like this background to something that is cool, you know? I'm not sure yet what I should do, but we started just painting, and yeah, hopefully it will be something different.